Hello YouTube and welcome back to another monthly Chronicle, this time for June 2015. It seems so weird that I've been doing this for 30 episodes now. And almost as weird as it is to think that I've been on YouTube for 6 years. My first video was June 2009. YouTube has been around for 10 years now. It still blows my mind. You know what else blows my mind that it's 10 years old? The revived Doctor Who series. Earlier this month was the 10th anniversary of the 10th Doctor's first appearance, played by one of my favorite actors, David Tennant. I thought I'd take this opportunity to do something a little different from how I normally make these vlogs and try some new techniques. This month's vlog is going to be a countdown. My 10th anniversary top 10 episodes of the 10th Doctor played by David Tennant. It's a lot of tens. Please keep in mind that the following top 10 is based purely on my own personal preference, so if you don't agree with my choices, please don't rage at me in the comments. I'm only a gentle soul. Number 10, Smith and Jones. As the second episode of Series 3, the Doctor investigates a mysterious event that transports a London hospital and its occupants to the moon. Intergalactic police search the hospital for a fugitive alien, and the Doctor must lie low to avoid being mistaken for the convict. Along the way, the Doctor meets Martha Jones, who will become his new companion for the series, following Rose's getting stuck in another universe. I should mention that there will be spoilers in this top 10. Number 9, The Stolen Earth, Journey's End. The epic conclusion of Series 4, this two-part finale finds the Doctor tracking down the Earth after a planet has been taken into another sector of space by some unknown power. It's here that the Daleks, the Doctor's best enemies until they became completely worthless in later seasons, thanks Stephen Moffat, return to their full exterminating glory. This episode is one of my favorites because it brings all of the previous companions in the revived series, and even some from the original show and its spin-offs, to the aid of the Doctor. It also has one of my favorite quotes from the Doctor at the end.
And for one moment, one shining moment, she was the most important woman in the whole wide universe.
Number 8, School Reunion. This Series 2 episode was one of the first to really bridge the gap between the revived series and the original series that lasted from the 60s to the late 80s. By bringing back fan-favorite companion Sarah Jane Smith, the series was confirmed to be a continuation of the original and not a reboot. Although the episode has some of the most dated CGI in the series, it's a compelling story that answers the question, what happens when you're no longer the Doctor's companion? Number 7, Silence of the Library / The Forest of the Dead. Another Series 4 two-parter, this episode introduces us to Professor River Song, a character who would play an important role in later seasons with David Tennant's successor. In these episodes, the Doctor and Donna must survive a swarm of deadly creatures that will consume you faster than you can blink if you stand in its shadows, all while solving the mysteries that the library holds. Admittedly, this episode feels a bit like a Matrix ripoff, but it is actually a really good 2 episodes. Number 6, The Girl in the Fireplace. Back in the earlier years when the show was less about dark tones and overly complicated plot lines full of holes that they don't want you to look too closely at, thanks Stephen Moffat, this episode has the Doctor, Rose, and Mickey on a spaceship that is powering time portals to 18th century France, where a group of clockwork robots are stalking Madame de Pompadour at various stages of her life. This episode may have a sad ending, but that's one of the things I loved about the show in its earlier years. It wasn't all fun and games. There were serious messages. Number 5, Partners in Crime. After being introduced in the previous season, Donna Noble returns, this time as the Doctor's next companion. This episode is one of the funniest episodes in the show's run, but still has a plot that is very engaging. This was another thing I loved about the show, the fact that there were episodes that broke the mold of being strictly science fiction. Though not on this list, my favorite episode of the show is actually The Empty Child, which I would classify in the horror genre. Number 4, Rise of the Cybermen, Age of Steel. The Daleks may have been the best villains in Doctor Who, but the Cybermen are easily the next best. After being teased in a Series 1 episode, the Cybermen return in full glory after the Doctor and friends get stuck in an alternate universe. Apart from some great action, this episode changed Mickey's character from a wimpy boyfriend character to someone who could really hold his own. Another thing that I liked about the earlier seasons, that was a lot about the characters. Thanks, Stephen Moffat. Number 3, Blink. This is a special episode in the sense that the story does not follow the Doctor's point of view. Indeed, the Doctor himself is barely in it. Instead, the story follows Sally Sparrow as she tries to make sense of strange messages from the future left for her in the past by the Doctor. This episode introduces another one of the show's best villains, the Weeping Angels. It also spawned some of the show's most memorable quotes.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, I've seen this bit before.
Number 2, Army of Ghosts, Doomsday. The finale of Series 2 has the Doctor and Rose face not only the Cybermen, but the Daleks as well. This is an episode that was a fan's dream. The episodes end with one of the most emotional and often parodied endings that will have a true Whovian in tears. And finally, number 1, Turn Left. One of the most interesting questions about time travel is the question of what if? If you could change the past, how would it impact what happens next? This concept has been done many times in films, but this is one of my own favorite examples. This is another special episode in which the Doctor himself is barely in and follows what would have been Donna Noble's life had she never met the Doctor. All of Donna's growth as a character, which we observed throughout Series 4, is shown in just 45 minutes, and it's amazing. My favorite part may have just been the cliffhanger ending, which calls back to the very first season of the show. So what do you think of my choices? What are your favorite 10th Doctor episodes? Leave a comment below and let me know. Anyways, that's all I've got for this month. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on keeping on and stay classy.